an officer, right? Are you considered a captain?
Yeah, let me turn here. I got 4 pips on my neck. I am, based
Okay.
on the fact that Starfleet uses traditional US naval ranks.
Okay,
Yes,
that's
I
good.
am a naval captain in a space navy.
Okay. Okay, that makes sense. Anyway, the second part of that question was, seeing
Mhm.
as how you're an officer, this means that you've had plenty of time learning tactics and combat on the battlefield, right? Um,
Yep.
has this helped you when dealing or working against or with the Klingons, or did their tactics and culture clash with the stuff you were taught?
Well, that's a good two-part question. Um, Part of it, the first part to that, with the whole tactics with and against the Klingons. Um, I was very much a product of my time. Um,
Mm-hmm.
so I learned very much to think like a Klingon, how a Klingon would fight. And as soon as those jerks got cloaking technology, it changed the game again.
Okay.
So yeah, yeah, because for whatever reason, the Romulans decide to stick their noses in, and through some non-aggression pact, from my understanding, because the Romulans were smart. The Romulans gave the Klingons cloaking technology.
Mm-hmm.
And then those jerks decided, oh, we can be cunning predators this way instead of just warriors. And so we had signed a bunch of different um, armistice agreements with the Romulans that we would not actively develop, research, and use cloaking technology. So on that front, technically, we are putting ourselves at a disadvantage. But again, that's just to try and de-escalate an already highly escalated situation, because diplomacy is supposed to rule the day.
Yeah.
That being said, fighting against the Klingons, yeah, uh, as long as you're smart enough to know that the way they operate is they are they are pack hunters.
Mm-hmm.
If you can understand how they want to go about and try and take you out, you can find a way to work around that. Conversely, if you understand that when you're working with them, it becomes a lot easier to coordinate attacks.
Okay.
But when you're
What do you
dealing
mean
with,
by like pack hunters earlier?
okay, so we humans, we more or less, this has been proven scientifically at this point. We evolved from lower primates.
Sure.
Okay, Klingons evolved from a predator species on their planet,
Okay.
and because of that, whereas we humans, uh, because of that early primate brain parts in the back of our head, um, the fight or flight used to just be flight,
Yeah, yeah.
right? And only through becoming what we are, right, we ended up going, hey, wait a minute, we're predators too. That took a while to develop, obviously, but with them, they were let's kill and eat stuff 24/7, and so their evolution made it so that for whatever reason, not just because they were a warrior race, they kept that aggression. And so, right, they found in a lot of cases it works better instead of being a lone hunter to attack in a group. Everybody wins that way,
Okay.
except the target.
Yeah. I
Bully
can see
tactics,
why.
man, they work. They work.
Okay.
And like, yeah, you get the stories of the one-offs who go and storm the castle alone, prove their machismo. But
They die.
the commonality is pack hunters, and as long as you're conscious of that, they can be easy to figure out until they start, employing some actual higher thinking into their strategies.
Okay.
But that's just the Klingons.
Yeah.
The Romulans, they try and play this cloak and dagger game, and I basically, from fighting the Klingons so long, it's basically like, look, you come out of hiding or I'm carpet bombing space. that usually gets that usually gets a few weird looks, and then I end up hearing from engineering to stop wasting all my torpedoes.
I'm essentially carpet bombing space. I also want that on the shirt. How do you carpet bomb space though? Do you just like cluster bomb?
If you've ever seen me in my ship, the Sword of Damocles, you'll understand how I carpet bomb space.
Fair enough.
Nothing is safe when I go to town and have the crew do the things with the ship that it's made for.
Okay. okay, that makes sense. So I'm assuming that you're not on like an explorer ship, you're on a full-on warship.
Well, I mean, with the Federation, right? Most of the vessels can do at least all the jobs to some degree. But yes,
sure.
There are many that are specialized in, doing support ops. There are pure science vessels. And technically, my background isn't this command red. I mean, that's something I grew into through my career. I'm actually a science officer by trade, of all things. And so space magic is the silliest way I can describe it simply. And then you have, yes, the actual built for combat escorts, destroyers, battleships, dreadnoughts, and the Sword of Damocles happens to be a dreadnought.
That's a cool ass name, by the way. And I already know the history of Damocles, considering that he's meant to be like an Avenger, I suppose, who avenges like the deaths of comrades.
Yep. I figured I got to pick the name for my ship, and because she's a cool ass prototype, she's got the NX registry number 2. Life is good.
Hell yeah.
And she's big. At least as far as Federation vessels go.